Where the fuck is McClay?
Well, try to pull some shit out of your ass. Yeah.
Bogcast episode 105. Kristoff, Loki.
Oh yeah, thank you. You just set it down on the floor there. You just toss it. Fuck
Okay, action.
Awesome. This is the Bogcast, episode 105. I'm Keith Obit with my best friend, Brian McClay. We have now partnered with Mellow by Design to bring to you handcrafted, high-quality CBD at a discounted price. No promo code.
No promo code.
Right? All you have to do is go to bogcastcbd.com and all the prices are already reduced. Tinctures, topical sprays, pet drops, salves, and even hand sanitizer. These tinctures are made from non-GMO pure coconut MCT oil, rich in C8 and C10, combined with 99% pure CBD isolate, derived entirely from hemp. Vegan-friendly, all-natural, gluten-free, and sweetener-free.
Amen.
No THC. So listen, we are big advocates of THC, but I don't know, maybe you have a grandma who she hasn't been fucked in 25 years because she's had like 3 hip replacements. She's got fucking hemorrhoids. She's depressed because of it. Give her a little fucking CBD. It's not going to fuck her up. Just going to make her happy, make her joints feel a little bit. Maybe she'll go bowling again or some shit, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, I'm with you, brother. I'm right there with you.
So fucking get your fucking CBD now at bogcastcbd.com. No promo code. Just go to the site and everything's already reduced.
Awesome.
We're also brought to you by Bang Salon, where you can come get all your hair needs, including cuts, natural colors, vivid colors, extensions, shampoo and stylings, all under one roof at Bang Salon. You can find and message Bang Salon on Instagram at Bang Salon at BANGDSALON. Use promo code
Bogcast
for 20% off your first visit. So come on down and get banged by Jordan. But if you really try to bang her, I'll fucking kill you. Cool.
Check us out on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon. Are we on Amazon? For
Amazon Music.
Amazon Music, Stitcher, Player FM. Find us on all your favorite podcatchers. Also, make sure you guys check out our Patreon if you want to support us. That's patreon.com/thebogcast. If that's the best way to support us right now, guys, it helps us immensely, whether it's promotional material, advertising, all that fun stuff. Best way to support us is through Patreon. Also, make sure you guys go check out our Teespring account.
Yeah, we got new merch.
New merch, guys. Finally got some merch out there, so go check us out on Teespring. You'll find all kinds of merch there. You'll find hats.
Well, you don't have hats.
No hats?
No.
Fuck.
I don't know if maybe they have hats. I'm not sure.
We'll have to check. But the hoodies are fucking sweet. The masks are even better. Get yourself an Oompa mask.
Get to wear the Fucks McClay mug.
Get to wear the Fucks McClay mug. And the best part about it all is that we don't have to do all the work.
Yeah, you just buy it and then it gets shipped right to you.
Amen. Amen.
So, and then you could click a little link above McClay's head. And you could click there for more playlists if you want to, watch more videos.
And make sure you guys check out the description. All the stuff we're talking about, links are in the description. So make sure you check it out.
Awesome. Thank you, McClay.
Hell yeah.
Really excited to talk to our next guest. I met him just recently, actually, over at a former guest that we have on, Rich Formey. I met him over at his motorcycle club. He was kind enough to do a scene in the film we're shooting called Late Fees. And once I started chatting with him and realized how badass he is and fucking saw on Instagram all the crazy shit he's done, I was like, I want to talk to this motherfucker. So thank you to Kristoff Loki for joining us. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing awesome, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to come down here, man, and bullshit with us and stuff. So
Yeah, sounds fun.
hell yeah. Well, fucking to start off, man, I just want to know. I want to talk about Strongman for a little bit, if that's cool.
Yeah.
How did you get started into that?
I played high school football here. Started doing that and was enjoying that, but always from a young age was into watching, Strongman and whatnot.
Like on ESPN and shit?
Yeah, all kinds of different things. Mariusz Pudzianowski was like one of my heroes. He was this crazy Polish guy, if anybody knows who that guy was back in the day. But
I will go look him up though.
yeah, he was. I just thought he was the coolest, and then so started doing all that. And there was one part of training camps and whatnot that, as it progressed in football. That was just like Strongman, it was like tire flips and this and that. And it was the first time I'd actually done it, the things that I'd seen, and really enjoyed as a kid growing up. And so I was like, I'd rather do this than play football any day. Like personally, I just really enjoyed the training for it. So I started training more, lifting more. And I heard there was a Strongman competition. I'd never touched an Atlas stone or anything like that. And I was 18. I think I was 18. I was definitely 18. It was 2008, and I did it. It was Arizona's Strongest Man. I just signed up, and there was a local guy that was a pro at the time, named Kevin Nean. Kind of got in touch with him and just kind of messaged back and forth, and then showed up, did the competition. Somebody told me how to lift an Atlas stone, and I won it in my class. And so I was like, this is what I'm doing. I kind of gave up on everything else and just progressed in that, and that's how that started.
Wow.
That's crazy to
That's
go.
badass, dude.
Yeah.
How do you lift this thing? Well, let me show you. And then you walk away with it. Like,
well, it was like it was just, I was pretty excited about it. And that was funny too, because this was back when there was it was 2008. And so like video flip phones were like a thing. And one of my friends at that competition, I'm just kind of like, yeah, am I doing good? Just having a good time. And my friend, it was the last event in Strongman is usually the Atlas stones. It's like the coolest looking thing. It's pretty heavy. It's exciting. It's like, yeah, that's when everything's amped up. So this is the same thing at this one. And it was the last one. And he, on a flip phone, you could do like a 15-second video recording, like was the max you could do.
It was shitty quality.
And it was super shitty quality.
Yeah.
or it was super shitty quality pictures on it, either way. And he was like, dude, I can do a 15-second video of you when you do the Atlas stones, but that's really short. We won't be able to get the whole thing in there, or I can take some pictures. I was like, I'll just take a video because it'll be cool. Why not? And so he did, and I did all 5 in under 15 seconds. So I had like the whole video. And it was like this shitty like iPhone video, or it wasn't even iPhone, flip phone video,
Blackberry
whatever it was. Yeah, it was just some Nokia. Yeah. And so that was that. But
that's dope, man.
Yeah, that was one.
That's freaking awesome to be able to go in your first. You said it was your first competition and you won it.
Yeah, it was like I wasn't in the main weight classes.
Yeah.
It was like the first sign up yet, but yeah, I won that one.
Can you explain like how the Strongman competitions go and the weight classes and all that sort of thing? Like, how many events are there?
It's every competition's different, so you kind of have to train for which one, and they'll be announced. And there's a couple different organizations, and there's local sanctioned events through these certain organizations, but they'll announce like weight classes, like this will be, and that the weight classes often are very different too. One competition may have 3 weight classes, one might have 5. And
what are these weight classes?
And it's like it would be like under like 200 to 250, 250 to 300, so like heavyweight, super heavyweight. And then there'd be like women's, like we'll have maybe, and sometimes there's just a one women group, or there's a heavyweight lower weight class. So it all just depends. And then they'll have several of those. And if you win one of those, you can go to a national competition. You're like entered into train, so then you train for nationals. If you place in nationals, that's when you can get your professional card to like become a pro. And then that's a whole nother thing, that's like you can travel more and whatnot. But usually it's not a huge sport, so it's not like you're big money in any of
Yeah.
it. Like, so, you know, so it's a lot more of like a
Passion.
still like a hobby almost, but it's getting big. It's getting a lot more big, especially the last few years. It's getting huge. You
I know the mountains made it pretty popular.
Yeah.
On Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and Eddie
Because
Hall.
that's actually how I mean, I remember it being on ESPN, but seeing on Game of Thrones, the dude from Game of Thrones, and looking him up, and I was like, oh shit, this shit is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, what are some of the different events that you have to do besides the stone?
Oh, you know, deadlifts are huge in strongman, and all different kind of variations. Axle deadlifts, you know, just conventional deadlifts. They'll put up set up on the back end of a car and make it like a car deadlift, you know, to really like lifting the back end of it. So all kinds of different things, but essentially a deadlift, you know, of some crazy sort or fun way to do it. And then medleys, like a yoke walk is that frame that you stand in and just go as fast as you can, like 60 feet, you know. And then
I think I saw you doing that on your Instagram.
Maybe, yeah. I'm new to Instagram too. I haven't had social media at all until like a few months ago.
We'll promote the fuck out of it, dude.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We got to get into that a little bit because you just dropped a crazy bomb. That's the first time you've had social media?
Well,
that was the interesting thing you told me when I met you. You're like, I'm not on social media.
Yeah.
And what did I tell you? I'm like, that is badass. Dude.
Oh yeah, it went great for a while. But so I just made it to. I've been working as a personal trainer all throughout 6 years, pretty much, along with other things. I was going to school for exercise and wellness and doing it, and you know, I've done other things, but consistently and for a company. And I always wanted to kind of go independent. I wasn't sure if I was going to do like sports, like, you know, training in some kind of like sports element or team, you know, setting or something. But I just kind of enjoy independent personal training and like programming and stuff like that. So I always wanted to break off and kind of decided that's what I was going to do. When COVID happened, it was a good opportunity to just step away from the company I was with. The gym shut down and I was under non-compete clauses with them. Like I couldn't train anybody within 5 miles of an EOS, which is in the area like impossible.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, and that probably wouldn't have mattered for like most. I was training the vice president of the company and stuff like that. So I was kind of like their guy. So it was just like I would walk away and they've not noticed. So it was like 6 months of it, you know, if I were to do it, kind of trying to plan that out. And so when COVID happened, it was kind of a good opportunity because I couldn't work for them anyways. And who knew how long I couldn't. And so there was a lot of things involved with that too. And so, but yeah, so when that happened, I was like, okay, here I'm doing it. So that's when I made the Instagram to promote it. Yeah.
How have you done that? Like you have up until this point, no social media, or just something that you messed around on and then left for a while?
No, I had, that's a long story too. I had a Facebook back in like when I was in high school and stuff, you know, 2008, 2009.
Yeah. I was about to say, how did you go through like high school during that time?
I had like, when I was saying I connected with that one strongman that was a pro at the time before I did that competition, I'm pretty sure that was like through MySpace. You know what I mean? So like
MySpace
I
was
had
the shit.
Yeah, I had, and I was just a kid. Like, I had a MySpace and I had a Facebook, and then I just didn't. I got rid of them all for many different reasons.
Yes.
And I just enjoyed it. I just kind of was like used to it, and just didn't have to care about a lot less, probably, you know, like it was simple.
I'm sure life was way less stressful.
Yeah. And so I just didn't have it
more done.
Yeah. So probably about 6 years, I just wasn't on anywhere. Just didn't have the desire for it. Just wasn't.
Well, congrats on that, because a lot of people are
addicted
and trying to do that, and they can't put it down.
Well, I've realized that now that I've experienced what it is, you know, I've dated, you know, my girlfriend and everything, big on social media, huge. And so I've always been around it and been a part of it, and seen people just being like, sometimes like, dude, just stop looking at your phone. Like, you know, just and so I understood it before I was getting into it. You know, I was kind of had a knowledge of it, and I honestly still hate it, but I've realized, it's like a job in itself to like promote yourself in that way.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. So
But certain things that you're involved with, it just comes with
yeah.
that
But
territory, you know
that
what I
at
mean?
the
So-
same time, since doing that, and just it's been about 3 months, I'd say, of actually having it, making it, and whatnot. I've met, like, connected with a lot of really cool people too. So I see that side.
Well, yeah,
of it,
there's pros and cons,
Yeah,
for
super
sure.
cool. And it's
Does it
fun.
help out with you right now as far as
Yeah,
what you're doing?
it's basically my only way to promote, training and gaining new clientele.
Well, I'll tell you what, just stick with at least Instagram. I mean, Facebook is more opinionated and stuff, and I feel like Instagram's more for the arts. But I enjoy following you, dude. I watch your story, dude, and I think it's badass. Lifting all those crazy weights and shit, and
yeah, I have fun.
and I'm not even in that world, and I enjoy it. So
yeah,
I think a lot of people fucking enjoy your Instagram, dude.
Good. I'm glad, and so I have fun doing it. And like I said, it's just become a new thing that I'm still getting used to.
Well, you also said the professional aspect, because you're right. That is one of the main places for people to promote whatever it is they have, professionally, is Instagram nowadays. Like, social media promotion is huge.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm having a hard time with, because I hate doing social media. I mean, I'm still on social media, but I don't do it a lot.
Mhm.
But I'm having to do it for the podcasting stuff. And you're right, it can really benefit, but it's tedious.
That's the best word.
Well, fuck social media. Let's not even talk about social media. What is the Phoenix Strongman scene like, though? Like, is there a lot of competitions and shit for it? Or?
My best friend, his name's Solomon. He was getting in when we met. He was doing powerlifting, and he still is. He just did a powerlifting meet yesterday. But he was living here. I met him when we first were working at Gold's Gym back in the day, downtown Phoenix, and both as trainers. And we were both going to school for exercise and wellness. That's how we met. But he just moved up to Flagstaff a while ago, and he's built up a really good team up there, and has turned it from nothing into something. So that is going on, and that kind of spills down this way in Phoenix. There's a couple really good gyms that have, it's more of a niche, like, it's nothing you think about being fit and like, I'm going to go do strongman, so it's kind of like something that takes time to get more. It's becoming much more popular, which is awesome. I've noticed even just within the last few years. And I think it's going to keep getting quite popular. But there's a good gym here called Liberty Performance. They're really awesome, and they do a couple competitions a year. There's one in February they're doing.
Do you do a lot of these competitions?
I haven't. So I did up until I haven't done one for over 2.5 years now. The last competition I did, I tore both my patellar tendons.
Is that the video that was on your Instagram?
Yeah, I think I put it on there.
Yeah, I saw that, dude.
Yeah, I was doing a frame carry, and
man.
The thing you realize the more you do stuff is just all injuries I've had a ton are a perfect storm. It's never like, it's just when in hindsight you're like, how, of course, that was going to happen. But that one in particular, it was just, I didn't expect it. I decided to do that competition the night before. I had done several that they
do you think you were just weren't properly
I was
prepared?
I hadn't been training at all with implements, and I was like at the end of trying to finish my degree, and just overly like tired,
just taking too much
on. Too much.
Yeah.
And hadn't, I just zero core stability for what I needed to do at the time, but had been very successful, just
randomly doing it.
Yeah. So I never, and that was one thing that I've realized after injury, is how, had I been more strict about my own programming, kind of like more do as I say and I do, not just do as I say, I would have been so much more successful, so much more healthier, so much stronger. And so learning all these things now is kind of like turning those things that I'd lacked in the past up. But
do you still feel effects from those injuries now?
Oh yeah, that's the whole reason I haven't done, since that I tore those patellar tendons.
Can you explain to me what those exactly are?
So patella is your kneecap, your little
Jesus.
kneecap. And so the
I got to show you this video, dude.
I don't know if I want to see it now.
well, it's just like basically I fall,
Yeah.
in the video. That's all it is. But the patellar tendon is it anchors your quad, the big muscle that is responsible for flexion of the leg, kicking the top part to the kneecap. And so when the tendon that connects the kneecap tore, the kneecap and the quad and everything kind of shot up. It wasn't anchored into anything.
Ooh.
So it makes you have no hinge. Like
On
it's
both
like the
sides?
rope. No, your hamstring, like I could kick my leg if I needed to, I don't know how, I didn't try, but yeah, it's like if like basically if you could do this and then a thing gets cut, it's just like, there's nothing to pull it, so I tore both of those. And it's one of like the strongest tendons in the human body. So for a tear to happen
you have to
is really rare in itself, but I tore both at the same time.
When you say both on each side,
Like,
or
so
on both? On,
yeah,
oh,
no,
okay.
I tore bam and then bam.
Oh,
So they both my legs, like, the quad recoiled up. And
Is that because of
I'm a pussy.
yeah.
I'm a
No,
pussy.
it's pretty bad.
does that have a lot to do with the weight that you were carrying at the time too? Because you said it's really hard. It's one of the strongest.
It
Or
was just
form. Like, is there like a
Form.
form?
Oh
like,
yeah,
for
that's very, all that stuff's very important. But so for this one, it's the you kind of, it was a frame carry, so you lift it up and you want to essentially run with it as fast as you can safely. But the best, I guess technique of doing that is kind of shorter, quicker, choppier steps.
Yes.
You're not taking huge long strides for that pressure to hold the whole time. And towards the end, if you watch it, you see me like stumble and I lost my balance, and I could have just put it down and picked it back up and I would have probably completed it. It would have never happened. But when I stumbled, I had such a good time going, and I was just like, it was like the finish line was
you
like
were
right there.
Oh.
So I was like, well, I'm just not going to ruin that time and put this down and pick it back up. I just started taking huge strides, and they're not like huge strides when you think huge strides, but for doing the event, it was a pretty long strides. And I think one gave, I've watched it a lot and I kind of don't know what triggered it, how it could have, maybe over extension of some sort. I don't know. But it was just the right step at the right time. And I think one tore, and I must have planted the other leg to like try to brace it, and that was so much pressure, and that the other tore. It was kind of just like a bam bam type situation.
My knee hurts right now, dude.
Yeah. But it was stupid. I was healthy before that, never had a problem with it, and it was just that perfect storm. Like,
what
I
was
said,
the pain level like? Was it just like, or was you just so like just amped up you didn't really feel it?
just at the time I fell in the frame, and I kind of like just looked down, and I was wearing knee sleeves, so they're like it's not like a wrap or anything, but it's just like a cover over your knee. It keeps them warm and a little tight. But so I couldn't see my knee itself, but I could just, it kind of, maybe had a slightly different shape, and I had like no sensation, and I just knew something was up. I probably could have moved my legs, but I was like, there's something really bad. I'm just going to like not move.
Yeah, be smart.
Yeah, I'm just going to just kind of lay here. And then so people came up and they cut it off, and the paramedics ended up like picking me up and like taking me. And so I had surgery like the next morning on it and everything. So it was pretty, good response time.
Could you not walk after that? For a
Yeah.
while?
So that tendon, like this, couldn't have happened basically. But so when they reattach it, it has to heal. So if that were to happen, it would stretch and break probably. So I was in like straight-legged braces, so I could kind of move like Frankenstein, like just stiff legging it everywhere. But and then that's it was funny, And I was actually like stiff-legged deadlifting like right afterwards, just trying to like
You're fucking crazy, man. Jesus. I got a question.
Yeah.
I got a question about how the tendon attaches. Do you know how, like, is it? And the reason I'm asking this because I would never think about this, but because you brought it up, my brother, when he had my brother had a bunch of work done on his leg, and they replaced his femur and a large part of this bone here.
So you're
Tibia,
wondering, like, what
yeah.
happened
But they kept his kneecap,
Mhm.
and they replaced his knee with a replacement knee, but kept his kneecap.
Yeah.
Did they keep the kneecap because of that tendon thing?
So it's probably because of so when I say, it's just much easier to say I tore my patellar tendons, but it was technically a ligament.
Okay.
So a tendon is muscle to bone, so that is like, and then a ligament is bone to bone. So technically from your kneecap to your tibia, that's what I tore. That's bone to bone, but that also connected my quad, so they say patellar tendon, but whatever. So that's how that would work. So I would imagine if I was a surgeon, it would be the same replacement. Essentially they would, to replace a femur, cut that tendon or that ligament, I guess we could say, and everything around it, put it back in, but the muscles are all connected that way. So it would be like basically pulling the skin back over and just reattaching that. So that would make more sense to keep the knee cap, because they would have to tear and cut and then reattach more than they needed to. Yeah. It's like a rope.
I got you.
Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
You went to school for this shit. You know a lot about this shit. Has it still a passion for you to learn?
Yeah. And two, had I not had a lot of the education I have had, I would be in a lot worse place. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing.
You kind of be able to rehab yourself.
I know how to rehab myself.
Because you're an NSCA certified personal trainer.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, National Strength and Conditioning Certified Personal Trainer, and that's just there's several national certifications that are good. NSCA. There's 2 other decent ones, that are really high level standards. Just different ideologies and approaches towards it.
Yeah, totally.
And so that's one of them, and that's like just a solid, one of the best ones. So if you don't know anything about personal training and you have a personal trainer, and it's a really kind of like, if I'm honest, a corrupt industry, because you can almost get like an online. I can take like a 2-day 6-hour course and get a personal training certification, and then be like, technically I am personal training certified, but compared to somebody who has like a super accredited certification, big difference. Yeah. So kind of like do your research before you go with certain people to get that kind of help too. But yeah,
there's a lot of fuckery going on in the world.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like showmanship, like everybody kind of like comes up with these cool, crazy looking things. And you think like, well, it must be doing something, but it's doing absolutely fucking nothing. It's just like a show, it makes you look like you're doing something, and there's like no foundation of the actual science behind it.
What are you talking about? Like their methods?
Like exercise, methods and these
shit?
Weird things that you have people doing like 7 times a week, and it's like, it's not really working, Yeah. They look the same in a year, but whatever. But yeah, there's a lot to it.
You said that you enjoy the programming stuff, and that's what you're talking about, right? Setting a routine and basing it on the person that you're working on.
Yeah, basically whatever their goal is, and there's all kinds of ways to do it, to get there based on their lifestyle and what they can do, and pre-existing conditions or injuries like me, and structured program to get, I really enjoy doing that with people and training.
That's cool.
Great segue. That was my next topic, is training.
And I love shit like that, because now that makes me think to look at it a different way. For instance, I have a more of an engineering type mind. I want to figure out what the problem is. So I enjoy, figuring that out. And that's basically the same thing. Yeah. The funnest part is setting up and to figure out what's going on. And that's what you're doing in those programming things. You're going, okay. And it's different with each patient. Everything's custom. So that person, different with each patient. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. I never thought to think of it that way.
Just that's the big thing, is volume. To if somebody can only work out 3 days a week with weights, there's and optimal performance, scientifically tested and proven, is training your full body 3 times a week, and you can only work out 3 days. You're doing 3 full body workouts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you're tiring them the fuck out.
But scientifically, like work structure, from compound movements to
to get all the muscle groups,
and timing it to where we don't have to spend 2 hours in it, and I can exert, and train you and have muscle breakdown on this, but while this group's recovering, we're exerting this one, and making sure those aren't opposing each other. And then you're kind of getting cardio in the mix at the same time because you're not stopping, but the muscles are actually recovering. So there's all kinds, and that's like under somebody who has like a time crunch. You have somebody who works out 5 days a week for like an hour, then you can have fun. You can like really program it out to make sure they get everything they need and icing on the cake and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it just all depends. Yeah.
That's when workouts are the best, is when they can be fun and it's not like you're doing the same shit over and over, and you can change it up. Yeah. At least for me personally. Because working out to me is a struggle, but like I'm really committed to it. So like I was constantly changing up the workouts. You know?
That seems like kind of like what Strongman is. Those contests are. It's different ways of doing that stuff. You know what I mean? It's fun ways of working out.
Yeah, like the tires.
Yeah, the tire shit. You know, hitting, and that's evolved into workouts now. A lot of people are doing different type of cool things.
Like the ninja shit.
Yeah, the ninja shit. Yeah. Even to as simple as using not kettlebells, but the baton shit. You know what I mean?
Even fucking VR video games.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's such a huge industry.
Seriously, I have I want to say like someone I know on Facebook who lost a shit ton of weight. Actually, it was a Wii game.
Dude, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
That was a Nintendo game or something like that. Yeah. Fucking some circle thing that he was using or something. That's great. How often do you train personally? Like in committed, like do you have a pretty committed...
I would love to train, as much as I want, but same thing, life. So, and I'm not, I haven't been getting ready for anything, and I've had all these like kind of nagging injuries, and sometimes like I'm planning to do this, but then I show up and I didn't do these 3 recovery things I should have done, and then that evolves into doing something different. So my training has been off since this injury, if I'm being honest. And especially, but I still try to keep in, just my understanding of how it works. I still train well, but it's all over the place. I might do like 4 solid days a week. I might do 6, but
you're always at least doing something.
Yeah, I'm always
doing the 3 days at least.
Yeah, something like that. But if I'm not getting ready for something or planning this or needing this to be improved, and I haven't.
What's the difference in that training? Like, is that 6 days a week, every day?
It all depends. So like I said, that just the foundation of fitness in general for, if we're talking weightlifting, a muscle breaking down and recovering and performing for a thing is training it 2 to 3 times a week. 3 times a week is like ideal if you're conditioned for that. Obviously, if you start training your full body 3 times a week, you're going to be crippled for like a couple weeks after. But like when you're conditioned, training your full body 3 times a week. So I stick to training my full body 2 to 3 times a week in kind of like, if I'm not doing anything, what would be called like hypertrophy training phase, which is more like I'm not killing myself trying to do like really high intensity like lifts. Like my deadlifts aren't like triples that are just like
you're just trying to maintain.
I'm just doing like more of like how a bodybuilder works out towards. It's just like to kind of like feel healthy and keep things moving and maintain some strength without it plummeting in size, just staying, I guess,
swole.
Yes. Just getting swole, brother.
That's sick, dude. Fuck, I had a question too before I said that. Let's see here. Oh yeah, do you do any cardio? Like either when you're training hardcore or you're even now?
I've realized more that I never had to do cardio to focus on cardio from my performance. I've never like struggled with it until recently. And that was after this, it was something, obviously when the COVID thing began and everything shut down, I had this off, like even for me when I'm off, I still train, but I had like a couple weeks of just like maybe once or twice in the week, you know what I mean? And so it was really off, and I wasn't getting that consistency afterwards. And I think just the way I train and everything was keeping up with my cardio my whole life, and then having that little bit of off on top of, I started smoking a lot more weed.
Oh yeah.
And so then, and now I like almost had a panic attack. I did like a medley of like something, nothing crazy. It was like a sandbag and like a farmer's walk and another sandbag or something, but it was outside and I did it. And like, I was like, oh man, I'm really winded. I was like, kept taking steps. And then every step I was like, dude, you can't really breathe at all right now. And then I was like, just chill, man, just chill. You're going to be okay. Because if you freak out, it's only going to get worse. And people were like walking up, trying to talk to me like, hey dude, are you good? Like, cause I was probably looking like it was just dazed walking. And I'm just like, I'm not talking to you right now. Like I'm trying to catch my breath. And so after that, I was like, holy crap. And it happened. I could feel one time after that, it like crept up the same way and I like backed off. So since then, yes, I've been doing more cardio, trying to just prevent that. But before that, I didn't. But cardio is very important.
There's nothing better to me than blazing and then doing the cardio.
I was going to ask if you know a lot of people that, blaze and then go do tournaments.
No, not like I could never. So if I know if you can't, and that's I think that's probably more person to person. Some people might, but if I'm going to like compete or something, or if I have a meet or like whatever, when you hear of like these fantastic feats of like a woman, this baby, like, trapped car, lifts the car to save the child, like people don't do that shit when they're happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a very, to have that intensity and that like, you like, I'm not gonna like lift that if I go smoke a joint and feel really good and happy and like, walk up and, all right, I got this, it's just not going to happen. There's got to be that like intensity to it for me.
Great
I need
point.
to be super,
Awesome.
I'm like, it's like a dark fucking angry, mean place that you go to before you do it. And then it feels great afterwards. Yeah. But, so like
probably feels awesome smoking after though.
Yeah, for sure. But like, just for me, I could never, like, things feel heavier if I'm like stoned or smoked. So like, if I know when I'm training this or that, I definitely won't smoke before. And then afterwards, like when I'm done with my training for the day, I'll just, as much as I feel like. But
that's a good point. It does feel heavier.
Yeah. Like sometimes I've like in the past I've like smoked with a friend and then like gone to like, train with a buddy and just kind of like set him up or whatever. And I'll go to like pick up like a 40-pound dumbbell like I normally would. And I'll just, like, dang, dude. Like, it's just like, and then I'm like, this is why I don't smoke before I lift. It's like, because things are just like, you're too relaxed. You can't be relaxed and like lift a car. You know what I mean? Yeah.
When I work out, I'm not as intense, I guess. I'm old, dude. I just work to try to fucking, maintain every day.
But
to feel good.
If I were to do cardio though, you're right. Like I would much rather smoke and then just
it's almost like a meditation.
Yeah,
like you think about shit.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah, people like just get in a groove and don't think. I mean, you're literally just not thinking at all.
Put on some fucking headphones and
but like that with like anything that's continuous like that, I'll do that and like get work done. And I'm just like, man, I just was in the zone. So
do you do a lot of stuff, your workouts outside?
When I have the equipment or if I'm training like strongman or something like that coming up, it kind of has had to, just because of the space.
Was it hard to train for that? Like, do they have places to go
to? It used to be for me. Like there was when I first started back in that time, like I explained, like when I first won that competition and started going from that on, you kind of make these friends that do it too, and somebody happens to have a lot of equipment, and so we would meet like on Saturdays at his house and we would just roll the tires into the cul-de-sac he had and just like train like that. So it was like if you didn't show up that Saturday, you just didn't train with implements, until whatever. So if you were serious about this or that, when you'd show up or your friends and you'd be like, I'm getting ready for this or that, so I need to focus on these. So we'd set it up and do it all together and whatnot. So it was like that kind of like, and if you didn't have those connections, you were just in like nowhere unless you bought it, which is expensive.
Oh, crazy expensive.
You wouldn't do it. But now, like I said, there's these couple gyms in town. And that's what I'm trying to do is bring a lot of my equipment into the gym I'm at now. I just moved into a gym, like I said, starting independent and whatnot, but it's kind of a smaller space and there's not enough room for it at all, but we're looking to expand. And I look forward to like, I want to end up having like Strongman Sundays or Strongman Saturdays to where like, even if you're not a client of mine or a member at the gym, but like anybody in town just want to come like try it out, you know, oversee it, kind of like explain
But there's
it,
like
set up
no
a
weight
couple-
class for me to try it, is
Well,
there? Or-
yeah, dude, there's all
Oh,
kinds
okay.
of stuff. Yeah, like
there's like
there's
smaller
like,
ones I could do.
no, there's totally, yeah.
Miniature tractor tires.
There's all kinds of weight classes. Yeah, man. And
It's a
so,
little mini.
but yeah, anybody who hasn't gotten into it that thinks it might be into it, you know, you could totally just.
I mean, it looks fun, but I'm just like, there's no way I would ever be able to do any of this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'd be surprised, man. You'd be surprised.
I was just thinking also about like you were saying how expensive it is. Like, yeah, how much is one of
What
those
is
big
expensive?
old
What do you mean?
the equipment? Like,
Oh,
how much
yeah.
is one of those big fucking tractor tires?
Oh
You
shit!
know
What
I
are
mean?
those? Those are
Oh,
tractor
I've
tires,
always
or-
gotten like the big
Where the
ones.
fuck do
Like,
you get those?
Yeah,
Around-
like you gonna go steal them? Like
Well,
off the
yeah,
fucking
they have-
tractors?
Yeah, probably.
I've gotten
There's probably a
lucky
market for
and-
that.
Yeah.
I'm sure that everybody always acquires them. Some, you know, like there's.
You don't
like-
ask.
yeah. You just know if you know who has tires and who doesn't. That's all you need to know. You know, but I've seen these places downtown, and I'm pretty sure if you call them and just like, hey man, I'm looking for a tire. Like, can I, you know, if you really want a couple, they'll easily, because they don't.
Do you have any flat
anything to
ones?
do
that
with
you
it.
need?
Yeah. I just want like the old tires you're gonna throw away, because
Yeah.
we never have new tires at any competition.
Well, how much are those weigh? Like,
The big ones. So if it's like 1,000-pound tire, that's like
Holy
in the higher level stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
I definitely gonna need a mini one. Bro.
Yeah, but like 600-pound tires are like pretty common to train with.
I forgot to ask you earlier when you had that injury. How much weight were you pulling on that event?
Oh, when I tore my patellar tendons,
Yeah.
it was a frame carry. I was strapped in, and that was another thing too. I was wearing figure eights. I might have been able to like let go of it and drop it, but I was kind of like tied into it, so I shouldn't have done that too. Part of the storm.
Can you
But,
explain that more? The figure eight. Like,
I had like in a lot of some strongman competitions, you can have wraps. So that like you're tied. I'm sure if you've seen people deadlifting, sometimes they like wrap in, you know, to help hold the bar.
grip.
Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. So some competitions allow you can tie into it, and there's the kind that you tie into, the conventional long one, and you wrap it around, and then it's just kind of apply pressure. And when you let go, it like unravels and lets go. And there's the newer kind of one that's less work. That's really nice. That it's a figure eight. So like you have one coming off, and then it's a figure eight, and you just wrap it around and then re-put your hand through it, so it's just tied in. Like if I let go, it's still stuck to your wrist, you know, and you didn't have to wrap it or whatever. So I was wearing those on the frame, and I don't know how much it was. It was like 600 to 800 pounds, something in that range, I want to say. I don't remember exactly what on that particular competitions. And so but if I was wearing the normal ones, when the first one tore, I probably would have just let go and it would have unraveled or dropped. I might have saved the other one from tear, but since that one went down, I was
you couldn't
like,
get out of
married
it
to it. Like even if I let go, it's still you're tied in. And so I think when I put the other one down, I fell through. So
it's like an advantage while you're doing it, but if something happens like that, it's a disadvantage.
You're stuck at the top,
fucked, yeah.
But which is really rare, you know, I think, and I'm pretty sure after that happened, logically, you kind of realize that. And there's a lot of competitions that won't allow figure eight wrist wraps. So you're welcome.
Yeah. Use your video as an example.
Yeah, pretty much.
What can you explain the benefits of a training partner? Is that a dumb question?
No, and that's person to person too. I feel like, you know, sometimes you find somebody who it can go either way. Somebody who's a bit stronger than you, but like has the same goals, same, you know, desires, and same structure would make sense. You know, training with them, you know, when you're gonna quit and you look over and he just breezes through it, it's a little bit more motivating to try fucking harder, you know. So there's that, and then just having somebody to kind of talk to and having accountability is probably the biggest one for most people with a training partner. Is like, if I could just not go, but Steve's gonna be pissed and by himself, so I better show up, you know. So that's probably, I would say, the most beneficial. And then other than that, it just depends on what you're training for. But
I like the accountability part, because most people's problem is their inner bitch wins. Like, I don't feel like doing it today, and then you just don't do it. But if Steve's waiting, you're like, fuck, I don't want to fuck Steve over.
I'm gonna be a dick, and fuck Steve over, and in the end, you're helping yourself too, you know. So
exactly,
it's awesome.
Yeah, you're actually doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
Is when you're training, is sleep of priority? Like, how important is sleep for healing and training and all of that?
It's
to you?
huge. Sleeping is very important. Nutrition's even more important.
Yeah, I want to get into nutrition for sure.
But sleeping is you need it, for everything to kind of take a break and recover. And if you're just gonna be weaker without it, and be more susceptible to injury, depending on what you're doing as well. Sometimes that doesn't matter if it's more like, body weight stuff, and I'm just gonna not do it. But when it's like that intensity to where, a lot of times every time you work out at that level, even in just training, it could be the last time you work out because it's just this wrong movement, that one wrong movement. And when you don't have sleep into it, you're a little tired, whatever it might be. You could just be out of it and move funny and something tears. You could be not recovered enough because of it and something tears, or you just are more susceptible to injury.
It's not good to train tired then.
Yeah.
Not good to do much.
Anything.
Yeah. Being tired sucks.
Yeah, but like everyone's tired all the time.
I know, man. Fuck.
But ever since Rogan had that sleep expert on, I personally taken sleep more serious.
Yeah, it's something I overlook too. Sleeping and eating are my two biggest problems.
My problem is I'm such a stoner, I don't get to REM sleep because marijuana or cannabis actually prevents you from getting into REM sleep. And I'm such a stoner that I feel like I'm missing on some really good sleep. Does that make sense?
I have the same problem. I have the sleep apnea, so I definitely don't go into REM sleep. So
I have sleep apnea too, I think.
Do you have the
it
machine?
sucks, man.
No, I mean, I just know that like I'm told when I'm sleeping, that like
you're gagging,
I'll be like,
you're almost dying.
I'm just I snore breathe too. Like when I'm just hanging out, sometimes I'll catch myself like I'm just like, I wonder if other people are hearing me, like just like but I like when I'm sleeping, I will just be breathing heavy like that, and then just out of nowhere I go and then just
is that just lack
after how long of time?
Yeah,
lack of oxygen? Is that what it is?
It's like you stop breathing for whatever the reason is, and so that's what and it can be damaging to your brain, obviously. But you're during breathing, if you like and it could be the pressure, your body weight, hold is a lot for
compressing.
Compressing and too heavy. Like generally, the heavier you are, the more susceptible you are to that. And
I wish that's what it was for me. I thought that's what it was for me. But for me, it has something to do with something in my brain that every time I get close to REM sleep, I fucking wake up or something. I quit breathing, and I wake up. And they gave me that fucking mask to wear. And it's on the highest possible setting. And have you ever seen like I forget that jazz player that blows the trumpet, and he's got when he's blowing the trumpet, his cheeks are like fucking massive. Yeah, that's what it looks like because it's and I can't. Is it loud? I have to have it a full face mask. So how are you supposed to sleep like that?
Yeah,
like that's not fucking happening. And then like if you have air that's constantly blowing over your tongue and drying your tongue out. Your tongue starts cracking and it looks like somebody's taking a razor blade and just going I'm like, fuck this shit. So I did it for like 6 months. I'm like, no more of that. Yeah, I'd rather just have it and than having to deal with that bullshit.
Yeah there's all kinds of ways it just sounds
but
terrible.
The weights probably would fucking help, guaranteed. No, you know what I mean. Weight's such a huge part of it, no matter what.
Yeah, but
is that why you think you have like because you're a big dude?
Oh, I'm sure that's why for me. Yeah. I know that's what my problem is, and I'm probably I also am kind of nasally, like my nose has been broken quite a few times, and I feel like I don't breathe well out of my nose in general. So in sleep, I probably even less.
Did you do any like meditation or deep breathing or any shit like that? Any of that shit?
I do enjoy yoga.
Yeah.
I do hot yoga. I try to. It's been like 2 weeks since I've been.
I have yet to do hot yoga. I've been meaning to do that.
Yeah, there's a really good place not far from here that I go to, and I enjoy it.
It's like Bikram's or whatever. Or?
Hot yoga studio or hot yoga university.
No, I mean like is the hot yoga Bikram's method or whatever?
Oh, it's Hatha is like a big one. I don't know. Yeah. and Yasa.
Yasa.
Those are the two that I end
Is it
up
Wim
doing.
Hof? Maybe
I don't know.
No.
Yeah, I know. I'm not good at the knowledge behind it, other
Yeah.
than like I've enjoyed doing it in this one place.
Well, it took me 2 years to realize yoga isn't about the stretching and all the doing all that bullshit. It's about the 10 minutes of relaxation that you've got, for your mind.
Yeah.
After you've done all that bullshit, you know what I mean? And
that's always
and
the
it
nicest
get to a place like you can't ever really get to,
Mm-hmm.
where you're like, fuck, okay, relax a little bit.
Yeah, it's big meditation for me. Just the whole process of it is.
But fuck, it doesn't seem meditating when you're sweating your ass off though.
Yeah. It's just that good like exhaustion to where it's like,
No, I bet.
I feel like I'm about to pass out right now, but man, is it feeling good, and you're kind of so exhausted that it's almost even more like meditating. Like you just kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, that's,
I'll try it one of these days.
Yeah.
Cannabis cough.
That's like that endorphins.
Yeah, endorphins,
Yeah, stress hormones and all that.
You said many broken noses. That cued my interest. Where did that come from?
I just falling a lot.
Falling.
Nice.
I was wondering maybe if you were like a bouncer or something.
No, I've been a bouncer for like 10 years on and off.
You got to tell some crazy bouncer stories, dude. Did you get any crazy fucking?
I've had quite a few odd situation, crazy ones. Nothing. A friend of mine like choke slammed a guy once, a good training partner of mine for quite some time, like accidentally choke slammed this guy.
How do you do that?
and
allegedly.
Allegedly. And like he like just instantly peed his pants, and we thought like that was like a crazy situation. I was like, I think you just broke this guy's neck.
Oh no!
It freaked you out like it was a reaction.
Just instantly started, and he just like passed out. He like woke up later. He was fine.
Oh
man, but like there's just a few of those, like have happened, and it's never like, it's just odd situations. It's not like over aggression or anything. And especially in certain places that you bounced where it's just right off the bat, like that same place where that happened, a dude like a couple years before just walked in and just like straight up killed 5 people and like the bouncer and stuff. So it was like that kind of like crowd, it like it riles it up even more, and you never know who's popping off. And there's like
here in Phoenix.
Yeah, that was at Abco. I don't know if that's.
Oh yeah,
bro. My band used to play right next to that rehearsal studio there for years. I know about that.
So I bounced at Abco from.
Fuck, I probably seen it.
2011, I want to say.
Oh no,
2012 to like for like 3 or 4 years at that location, and then at Christie's and.
5 people got capped at Abco.
Yeah, that was like before I got. So
I didn't even know that.
I
didn't know that either.
Yeah, that was like it was before I started working there. I was 20. I started working there when I was like 21 or 22, I want to say, and I had just heard all those stories like a couple years before, and everybody knew the guy who got the bouncer that got killed was like the head doorman.
Like, I want to work there.
And then I was like, oh, great! Like this is exactly. Thanks for the rundown after.
Oh, this is after the
I was like, oh, I feel so much better now. It's but
the previous guy got capped. But
that's a crazy area though, man.
That is a very crazy area. I saw a lot of crazy shit down there.
Yeah, so that was.
But like, I mean. You got to tell more about the story. Like, why did the guy just randomly did that? Was there like one of the strippers he was jealous of, or I mean, there's got to be more to the story.
It was just like a confrontation with a dude, like trying to fight and all that, and it just escalated from there. In that particular situation, that would always happen a lot. And then, other than that, I'm pretty mellow. Like you just either have the people that would come in and cool thing. I feel like I've only ever been a bouncer in strip clubs. I feel like that's the only way to do it because
you can see titties all day.
No, well, it's everywhere else is like minimum wage, and you might get tipped out by the bar. You know what I mean? It's but like you would actually
there's money there.
I would make money when I'm bouncing. Like and when I would hear about bouncing anywhere else, it was just like that's not worth it at that point. But
explain to
dealing
the people
with boners.
But what? Yeah, but so that's the thing is like, so for me, I think that like people don't. Bouncing in a strip club is easier. Like it's just people aren't showing up like trying to impress somebody or whatever, unless it's the girl. So like,
Yeah.
and the girl wants her money, and I come up, they don't want to look like a chump in front of the girl or whatever. And then I show up behind them, and they're trying to play cool anyways. You know what I mean? It's not as confrontational environment. So the only time you'd have those big issues were when it was just trying to happen, you know,
or maybe some creepy dude getting over. touchy
yeah,
or some
yeah,
shit.
that would happen a lot. But that was always just like, and they know, like you kind of can spot those ones out. They'll like do something, like
You're like, this guy's gonna
you
fucking-
get the vibe off the bat,
That's
and then they do
crazy.
something. You give them one warning, and then they do it again, and then you're just kind of like, oh, this guy's just, he knows what he's doing. And then by the time it's like time to kick him out, all I have to do is walk up, and he's just like, I'm leaving, you know,
knows,
because he
yeah.
knows like that's what he showed up to do. The fucking weirdos and whatnot. So
What about any like crazy funny stories like that's just something that you were like, holy shit, I can't believe I saw that.
I mean, I've seen like from the top of the pole at Abco, you know, I've seen girls skirt all the way to the bottom, and
Oh,
been
and-
like,
And
that girl is not. That was the last time she's ever danced, and it actually was the last time she ever danced.
I mean, like she crashed.
but
Yeah.
I thought she was like paralyzed, like she
Oh
like
my
looked like she
God.
like tombstone pile drived herself, you know, like
What's the audience do?
the same thing I did. Like you just don't know what to do, because I'm like the guy that should probably be doing something,
Yeah.
but I
Like,
don't
what
like.
the fuck?
I feel like I shouldn't move her either. And then we got to pretend like everything's cool, you
So
know,
everyone just
because
starts
she's
clapping
probably
or something?
embarrassed. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
you don't know, like, so it's just that like those. And then always afterwards, like in the moment, you're like, oh crap. But then you think about it later, and you know, it's funny.
Yeah, yeah. That's
But
that is
great,
funny,
man.
yeah.
That's
That was-
hilarious. I remember, you know, we've all heard stories or seen that crazy things happen. I remember stories of guys walking in and just wanting to get hit, you know, or you know what I mean, have a stripper that he goes in and she doesn't dance for him. She fucking smacks him around a little bit, and then he pays her and leaves. You know,
Yeah,
crazy shit like that, man.
yeah. We
Just a lot of freaks.
There is
mhm.
Nothing wrong with that though.
Yeah.
no, not at all.
That's why we have Avcos, right?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Bush dives, man.
Yeah.
Well, I was wondering
Holy
about that now.
shit.
If you get a bush dive now, they have a mask on.
I have no. Well, I haven't.
'Cause
Obviously,
if they don't have a
yeah.
mask on,
I know nothing of it in post
wouldn't that
COVID.
be funny? They have a mask on, but they're like,
What if they have like a mask for that?
yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
like
thought
just
I
the
was
special
gonna
bush
go there
dive
with
mask.
the joke, but I just thought keeping on the face would be funnier.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
I haven't thought of bush dives in Abco in a long time.
So I can put that dollar in your mouth.
Oh my god, I felt so fucking creepy, man. I felt so.
It's like where
creepy.
every
yeah.
18-year-old goes to. Huh?
It's the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
place that
yeah.
every 18-year-old goes to.
Well,
yeah.
I was going on there honestly, and I was
15.
like 15, 16. We had a mutual friend that we went to high school with that worked there under. She found a license and it had a name, and she worked under that name of that license underage, and she was this hardcore Mormon, and she fucking ran away, all this crazy shit. Her parents actually tracked her down and found her at the Bush Company, and then they had to shut the Bush Company down for like a few days because she was underage. And then she turned 18 the next week and just went right back to work because she was so fucking popular there and shit.
Wow.
But she would like let us go in there and shit, and like totally like when we weren't supposed to be in there.
Yeah.
We saw all kinds of crazy shit go down there.
Yeah, if I just started talking about it, I feel like everything was crazy, you know, but you kind of get like, I'll tell stories sometimes and people are like, holy crap. And it's just like,
Every
oh yeah,
day
that was like
work.
a casual thing.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But you know about those band studios next door, right?
Yeah. I didn't really then, you know, because I was like 20 when I was at Epco. I just turned 30. I was like 23 to 25, you know, and I just didn't happen to know anybody who was in those recording studios at the time, but I knew of them being there because people, you know, you'd always get like the post,
Band practice,
band
fucking-
practice guys
yeah.
coming in with no money, and you're just like, here
Yeah,
they come,
but
you know,
that's
yeah, just like, get your beer. Girls don't talk to us, waste of money, like, you know, but yeah, it was always a good time.
We got fucking robbed there, like big time,
Dude,
by some tweaker dudes. They fucking just pushed in our fucking door, robbed probably about at least $20,000 worth of
whoa,
amazing band equipment, from guitars to drums. It's a long story, but we actually found the guy who did it and tracked down. We got like half of our equipment back. He ended up selling them to some fucking crazy bikers and shit. What's that? Cannabis cough, yeah. But anyway, speaking of bands and shit, I know you're into metal, dude.
Oh yeah,
it's one of my fucking favorite genres of music. I was wondering if you can maybe tell me your 2 to 3 favorite metal bands of all time.
Oh, that's a difficult one.
Well, you don't have to like. It doesn't have to be like, you know, exact, but maybe something I could check out, or maybe even a new metal band that I could look into.
Yeah, all time. I mean, King Diamond is definitely like the entity of King Diamond. Merciful Fate and King Diamond, you know, was like my first like intro into that kind of thing, and it was like, it's like nostalgic, I guess. So King Diamond is way up there, and a lot of old school stuff like that would be like up there too. I feel like my music person inside me is like an old man metalhead for some
because
reason.
new shit sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of like, it just is like a different thing, like new stuff, like, you know, Dying Fetus. I love Dying Fetus.
I've loved Dying Fetus for a long time.
Yeah, and they're like kind of like emerging as like, people think of them as like in the new genre. They've just been going the whole time, you know, like
they've been around forever.
Yeah, they have been. Yeah, and so but then like the crossover stuff I think of as like newer stuff too. Like Municipal Waste and like thrashier stuff like that. So I like a lot of I just death, black, and thrash metal I'm super into, and then the slight variations of them, you know, that come along with it. But old school, you know, all the start, you know, Venom and all that good stuff from back in the day in the metal starting time, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But yeah,
a lot of old school stuff.
Yeah, thrash, you know, Exodus. I fucking love Exodus. And
any local bands maybe, or there's not like a lot of death metal local bands really, are there?
Yeah, there's not too many local death metal like stuff, you know. I know you like, there's quite a few solid local
like
bands.
Pelvic.
Yeah, Pelvic, and they kind of suck.
Yeah, fuck Pelvic Meatloaf.
But
I have a question, and this kind of harkens back to shooting the movie and late fees and all that stuff. Any aspirations of getting into acting?
That's actually a funny question. You know, I was pretty excited when that random opportunity came up, because there was a period of time when I've always kind of heard, you know, working in gyms and everything, and like being the Viking guy and yada yada, you know.
That's
even,
exactly why I asked. Yeah.
And even in competitions, like if people didn't know my name, they'd be the Viking dude, you know, or whatever. And I always got that kind of like attention and whatnot. But then, and so I always heard this and that, and I play the role, you know. I like looking like this and being goofy, and I like nerdy about it, but also it's like my historic, you know, it's like a spiritual thing for me too. I just kind of, I guess, gimmick it in a positive way, you know. But yeah, back to that. I would hear it so regularly, like, dude, you look like you're in this movie or that movie, and so I would always kind of like brush it off. But it was a period of time up recently, like probably last year before COVID and all that, to where this guy came up. I was like foam rolling on the ground at the gym, and he's like, man, I saw you over at the Awatuki, you know, gym. It was a different gym that we were at, and my wife came in, and she was just like, dude, that guy looks like he's in like movies and stuff. And I just heard it so much that it was kind of like, at the time, dude, maybe there's something's trying to tell you, like, just go like have fun and just be like goofy and like try to like do whatever side, like background stuff and whatever,
make some money,
movie,
man.
I could try to do all that, dude.
Yeah, and so it was something I was like, you know, maybe this is. It was always joking, like, oh, thanks, ha ha ha, until it happened so much, and I was just kind of like, man, maybe it would be fun to try, and I would like to try to do it, and I really would. I think it'd be fun to do it. And
well, the thing is, it's like something you want to get into, but then it's like, how do you get into it? It is like hard to figure out how.
And especially
but what it is it meant to be, man. If this opportunity came up and you're already thinking about it, it was meant for you to get into this shit.
Yeah.
I was actually wondering how your thoughts about it was, because I was unsure, like, you were like, what the fuck was it? This was just sprung upon me, or if you were excited about it. I wasn't really sure your take on it. So.
Yeah, when Rich brought it up to me, he was like, dude, you know, and I was like, I told him the same thing. I was like, dude, I've been like having like background interests into like if I ever got the opportunity to. And I didn't have social media at the time either. Like my girlfriend would tell me like, dude, get headshots, yada yada, and just, you know, and so now I'm on social media. Maybe, you know,
I have a headshot lady, dude, to hook you up.
You know what you should do? Is go get a really badass photographer and take.
I know a headshot lady is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Kind of like what's his name? He puts out all the time. Liza. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He does those badass fucking like photo shoots,
ones.
arts photo shoot,
yeah.
like, and do the Viking shit. That's all you need, bro, because people will fucking call and just want you in scenes.
Well, not only that,
to
but
play the big tough
exactly.
guy.
There's a certain look that like you could run with at first,
but
like
then after
that,
Trejo, that wasn't that how he got like hired? Was
yeah.
like,
well, even
like,
Arnold, like any of the, usually you start off and you just run with every. I used to have long hair and a beard, and I'd only play, dude, fucking bad guys, drug dealers, and all that shit. I actually cut my hair so I could get dad roles and shit.
Yeah.
But like you just run with what you could get, and then you diversify. You know what I mean? And dude, you have a look that fucking filmmakers would die to have. You know what I'm saying? So I was actually stoked when Rich, because this was actually the first scene that I actually ever like wrote myself and got to see come to life in front of me. And so like when I told Rich, I was pitching on the scene and shit. I was like, so we got to have the, you know, one of your bigger buddies, you know, come up and grab me. He's like, I have the perfect guy. He's like He-Man and shit. When he said He-Man, I stole that and took that. And remember, that's part of the dialogue. I was like, whatever. I forgot the exact words. But I was like, what'd you say? Whatever you say, He-Man. You know what I mean? And so I kind of like took that from Rich and shit. But like, to see like not only you but like everybody else fucking just add to the scene. You guys are the funniest motherfuckers ever. Like just on the spot, like all natural fucking actors and shit. Like I couldn't believe it. We all left there on a natural high going, holy shit, that was better than we could have ever imagined, that scene coming out, dude. So we really appreciate you guys doing that, dude.
Yeah, no, it was fun. I was stoked about it when he told me. I was like, yeah, man. And then you said like they might make an IMDb page.
Yeah, you'll get on there, dude. No, we already have one. We just got to put your name on there.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh man, and so it begins.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying. It's meant to be.
Yeah, I was excited.
But I could like, if you are really interested into it, just show you some different like websites and links to open the doors for like how you can get involved, like for background or whatever, you know, just to do some bullshit, but to get the foot in the door to open that world up where people are like, holy shit, let's get this motherfucker, you know?
I'd really like that.
Hell
yeah, I think that's smart.
Because he's in the film too. I got him into it, and so he has a couple lines and shit. And
it's fun, man. It's cool, right?
Yeah,
it's fun to watch the background and how that shit is done. Like that has become one of my favorite things, is watching.
That is my favorite thing in the entire world, is watching. Well, before I was watching behind the scenes of movies, but like when you're actually on the set and like, you know, just absorbing all that and just watching it, it's like, this is bad as fuck. That is my favorite thing to do. Actually, no, I take it back. My favorite thing to do in the world has always been like writing music, but I realized my second favorite thing to do is not watching it, is going on the set and then seeing the creativity that's sparked from the scene. Because you always have the idea of, okay, this is how the scene goes, especially as an actor. You're like, I'm going to say this, he's going to say that, blah, blah, blah. And then you get there and like all your buddies are like, all I told them to say was, you know, I rented it too. But I was like, but say whatever you want. And they had said the funniest shit I'd ever heard in my life. And things I would have never came up with. And that's just stuff that only happens like in the moment when you're like creating like a scene like on set like that. You know what I mean? So like I said, like me, Jay Bird, Chad, we all left there just going, that was so fucking badass. So we're really excited to have that in the scene of the movie.
I saw a little clip of it. And it's fucking awesome. It looked really good.
And I was telling him this earlier, like that means a lot to me because I show him everything. 9 out of 10 things that I do is just complete dog shit, dude. I'm in like all these 1-star movies. I'm like in the most, and he's always like, dude, that fucking sucked. And I watched him watch the clip, and he was actually laughing his ass off, and actually made me feel good because I was like, okay, McClay's laughing. That's good. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, it was really good. It was really fucking funny.
And that was just a rough cut. So.
More than anything, it got me excited to actually see a finished product on this thing. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, it's going to be weird, like, because we've shot all the scenes. It's just weird, like, thinking about putting them in order is like one final film finally, you know what I mean? But anyway.
That's exciting.
It is.
Cool. Have you ever heard of Within the Ruins?
No.
I'll play these guys afterwards. They're pretty dope.
Yeah.
One of my favorite guitar players and shit. So, but anyway, do you want to promote some social media and shit before we go? I know you say you just started. You just have the Instagram.
Yeah, right now, I mean, Viking Way Performance. That's my brand. Instagram, Viking Way Performance. Nothing in between. All just one.
I'll put like a little thing to come up.
I'm planning to have a website up and going, just like a little bit more structure to, if you're interested in training, signing up, and a little bit more about me. And also been making some cool shirts just for fun alongside with it, and to set up like a little web store on there, vikingwayperformance.com, for all that to come. It's not up and going yet, so still structuring everything. It's a new project.
Dope.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you back on, man, because I want to talk about like nutrition and all that bullshit too. That's really important in my life and stuff. So I was always curious about that. So we'll definitely have you back on, man. I really appreciate you coming on and stuff. So.
Yeah, I had fun.
Before we go, I want to remind everybody to check out bogcastcbd.com. If you guys want to, go get yourself something that's going to help you get some sleep at night, deal with a little bit of pain. We've got tinctures, we've got salves, we've got all kinds of goodies for pets and everything. Go check out our Patreon at patreon.com/thebogcast. If you guys want to help support us, that's the best way to support us. And also check out our Teespring account for any merchandise. We've got all kinds of shirts, hoodies, fun stuff, masks, mugs, stuff like that. More incoming on that site, so make sure you check it out. Also, I want to throw a quick I want to mention that World of Warcraft is finally fucking putting out their new expansion. So I'm planning.
You've been saying this for like 10 episodes.
I'm planning to set up a Twitch account for the Bogcast, and if there's anybody out there that's fucking playing World of Warcraft, hit me up, because I want to get back into this shit. And I want to raid.
Nerd.
But I don't want to go find a fucking guild. I don't want to do that shit. So make sure you guys, once the Twitch is out, check it out. All the links will be in the description, and all the fun stuff we talked about. So
awesome. And let's see. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And like he said, we have links in the comments, in the description, and there's also a link above McClay's head that you can click for other playlists. And thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
On episode 105 of the Bogcast. That's a wrap.
bang.